There is a painting. A prince is painted clearly on paper. His robes are precise. His eyes are alive. His posture is dignified. And yet, no matter how loudly you call out to him, he gives no answer. Not because he is stubborn or refuses to respond, but because he was never alive to begin with. Most people hear this and think it's a riddle, a clever Zen metaphor, something to be solved. But it's not. Today, this story will turn on you. Because somewhere in your own life, you have been shouting at a painted prince, begging for an answer, waiting for a response, hoping something external will finally speak back and tell you who you are. And the silence you feel? It is not failure. It is the point. Hi, thank you for choosing this video. Stay with me until the end, because this is not a story about enlightenment. It is a story about you, about why the way you are trying to reach it is quietly keeping you stuck. One day, while tea was being served, Zen Master Bankei recalled something from his youth. Years earlier, while studying under Zen Master Dosha, a monk named Zentei was giving a Dharma talk. Zentei quoted a famous line from the Blue Cliff Records. Prince Chang is clearly painted on the paper, but no matter how loudly you call out to him, he gives no answer. Then Zentei turned to the monks and said, "Each of you should answer in Prince Chang's place." The monks hesitated. They thought. They prepared clever responses. Bankei was sitting nearby. Zentei pointed at him. "Try to answer in Prince Chang's place." Before the words had even fully left Zentei's mouth, Bankei struck him with his hand, a sharp slap. No warning, no explanation. Zentei laughed it off. "Anyone could have done that," he said. "Answer with your mouth," Bankei replied instantly. "You're lucky I didn't answer with my foot." Zentei was completely thrown. Now, pause. Most people hear this story and ask the wrong question. They ask, what was the correct Zen response? What did the slap symbolize? Was Bankei enlightened already? But the real question is this: why was Zentei confused? Because Zentei wanted an answer, and Bankei gave him a response. Those are not the same thing. In modern life, we are trained to answer. We rehearse, we optimize, we prepare. But real life does not wait for answers. It demands immediate response. Your anxiety doesn't wait for you to finish thinking. Your child doesn't pause while you consult philosophy. Your body doesn't ask permission before exhaustion arrives. And when you try to meet life with rehearsed answers, you miss it. Bankei didn't think. He didn't search memory. He didn't consult doctrine. He moved. And that movement revealed something profoundly astonishing. Before thought arrives, before intention forms, before identity speaks, response is already there. Years later, a devoted attendant named Itsuzan spoke to Bankei. He had studied for years, served closely, absorbed everything. And yet, he sighed. The deeper I penetrate, the firmer it is. The further I seek, the higher it gets. It's like being on a ladder, unable to reach the sun and moon. He had no doubts about the Dharma, but Bankei himself remained a mystery. How does one arrive at complete attainment? Bankei replied calmly, "Most Zen students reach 7 or 8 parts out of 10. There are 2 or 3 they cannot pass." Itsuzan leaned forward. "How does one get past them?" "There is no way," Bankei said. "No way." Let that land. Itsuzan pressed further. "Then where does the fault lie?" Bankei paused. Because their aspiration in the great Dharma is not strong enough. This sounds paradoxical. First, no way, then not strong enough. But here is the twist. Aspiration is not effort. Aspiration is not striving. Aspiration is not obsession with progress. Aspiration means you are willing to stand where nothing supports you. Most modern seekers want certainty. They want milestones. They want reassurance. But the final barrier is not ignorance. It is the need to stand somewhere. The latter fails not because it's too short, but because the sun was never meant to be reached. A monk approached Bankei. I have worked on the koan, "Have no illusions," for 30 years. 30 years. That is longer than most careers, longer than many marriages. Bankei said, "Say something about 'have no illusions' right now." The monk replied, "Yesterday it rained." Bankei coughed. The monk continued, "Today is clear." Bankei struck him. Why? Because the monk was still reporting reality, still describing, still pointing. Illusions are not removed by correct descriptions. They end when there is no one left trying to manage them. In modern life, we do the same thing. We say, "I understand my trauma. I know my patterns. I'm aware of my conditioning." But awareness used as a shield is just another illusion. Clarity is not commentary. A nun from Izumo asked, "Both my parents are alive. How should I fulfill my duty toward them?" Bankei answered, "You are truly filial when you live in the Buddha mind you received from your parents at birth. Not obedience, not sacrifice, not performance. Presence. When you abandon the unborn mind, you abandon them too." This strikes modern listeners deeply, because many of us are exhausted trying to be good children, good partners, good citizens, while completely abandoning ourselves. But Bankei reverses it. To betray your own original clarity is the deepest form of unfilial behavior. Bankei spoke of his own realization at 26. The understanding then and now, fundamentally identical. But his freedom? Completely different. Why? Because clarity matures. Someone asked, "Does it happen all at once?" "No," Bankei said, "there is no certain time. Perfection arrives when nothing is being forced. This is devastating to modern culture, because everything tells you to rush, optimize, scale. But wisdom ripens." Bankei warned, "Chasing old phrases is like losing your sword overboard and marking the railing." Words are not the way. They are empty hands used to stop a child from crying. Once the crying stops, why cling to the hand? Itsuzan once declared full certainty. Bankei refused to confirm him. Why? Because the most dangerous moment is when doubt disappears. The Dharma is deeper than certainty. If this unsettled you, good. If it disturbed something, better. Because the unborn mind does not need your improvement. It needs your honesty. And that honesty is already here, silently, before you reached the end of this sentence. If you're still here, it's not because you were trying to learn something new. It's because, quietly, something you've been carrying for a long time just loosened its grip. Bankei was never trying to give answers. He was pointing to the moment before answers appear, before effort, before improvement, before the voice that says, "I'm not there yet." And if this teaching felt unsettling, or strangely relieving, or even a little threatening, that's not a problem. That's recognition. So before you move on, before the mind turns this into another idea to store away, I want to ask you something very simple. What is one belief about yourself that this teaching quietly made unnecessary? Not something you replaced, not something you fixed, just something you suddenly didn't need anymore. Write that one sentence in the comments. I read every comment, because this space isn't about agreement, it's about seeing clearly, together. And it helps me know that this video offered something meaningful. If this video found you at the right moment, you may want to save it, not as knowledge, but as a reminder. And if you know someone who's exhausted from trying to become better, trying to get it right, trying to finally arrive, share this with them. Nothing here needs to be added. Nothing needs to be improved. You've already arrived more times than you realize. I'll see you in the next video.